Welcome to this month's edition of Let's Do the Zoo on Channel 14. I'm Lynn, and this is Bruce.
No, I'm Lynn, you're Bruce.
You're right. Boy, last month we had a great time visiting with Kim and her elephants.
We did. We learned a lot. I hope everybody learned a lot about the elephants. And you know what? This month's going to be just as fun because we've got a lot to do today. Where are you headed off?
I'm headed off to Education to talk to Ann about zoo camp.
That's happening now, or that's going to happen?
There's zoo camps going all the time. We'll find out what's going on when we get down there.
Okay. And after that, come find me because we have got a brand new addition at Chaffee Zoo. She is beautiful. Oh, she has a face you'll never forget. So make sure to find me because I have to go back to work.
You work?
Yes, I work. Every day, Bruce. Bye.
Bye.
The kangaroo jumps up and down. The turtle crawls up on the ground. If you don't believe it's true,
come on, let's do the zoo.
Dr. Two will tell you that giraffe's neck is long. Camel riding through the zoo while the hippo sings along. Bring your family, come right in. You're always welcome here, my friend. Every word I say is true. Come on, let's do the zoo.
Yeah, some have brown, some have black.
Well, that's
Depends on the
neat.
region of Africa.
And with brown fur underneath.
Brown or black underneath, right?
Wow. Welcome back. I'm here at the Education Department with Ann Coffer, our zoo camp director. Ann, how you doing?
I'm good, Bruce. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Tell me about zoo camp.
Zoo camps at the zoo are offered year-round. That means, as you know, we have children in and out of the building all year. They're offered, the big part of zoo camp is during the summer. We have 11 weeks of classes. They're week-long topics that the children study in a variety of different ways over the summer. We have classes whenever schools are out, so during the spring break or during the winter break. We just finished 6 days of winter zoo camp. We also offer 6 months of sleepovers at the zoo. We call them zoo overnights for scout troops. We offer family overnights in the summer. We offer behind-the-scenes classes on weekends. So we have a variety of classes all year round.
Sleepover at the zoo, that sounds tremendous. What kind of age groups do you have offer classes to?
Well, we start at age 3. We have story hours. They're actually hour and a halves that we offer for parent and child. 3 and 4-year-olds, we call them animal stories. We go all the way up in the summer for 18-year-olds. We have a zookeeper class where students actually get to work with our keepers in the enclosures in an organized class during the summer.
Oh, that's neat. And with that many classes going on, there must be a lot of kids.
Tons of kids.
Tons
We
of
have
kids.
increased the number of students every year, but we maintain our class sizes at only about 16. We never go above 20 so that the children still have that hands-on, small class kind of environment, and they're there with our counselors or that's what we call our teachers, and then they have junior counselors who help with each class, and those are trained volunteer high school students.
You must need a lot of people to help with a camp that size.
We do, and it's wonderful because they're all here exactly for the same reason, because they love animals, they think the world's important to maintain, and they want the children to learn about that.
And how do you find enough people to help you with camp?
We actually are going to be, thank you for asking, we're going to be asking different universities, different people in the community to step forward if they're interested in teaching classes, because we do need new teachers every year. They specialize in a certain topic. We talked here about biofacts. We have a biofacts teacher who is trained by our zoo biologist, and we use these things to teach with. So we'll use the skulls and the bones and the teeth and the quill and the feather and the skins for one of our topic areas. They also will have arts and crafts teachers, so we need a whole variety. We need biology trained college students maybe who are interested in maybe being teachers one day. So we will be seeking those kinds of people.
Well, if somebody wanted to become wanted to help you during the summer, how would they go about doing that?
Well, the best thing they should do is to call us here at the Education Department and ask for Ann. The number is 498-4861, and that number will reach anyone in the Education Department.
and you can set them up with an interview and all of the
We have
necessary.
an application process. They fill out the application, get their letters of recommendation, and then we'll set up the interview.
That's great. That's great. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I sat in on a class on cats.
That was part of our winter camp, and we were real excited to see you here. We had students in that class who were 5 to 7-year-olds, and they were with our marine biologist who's on staff here in the education department, and she taught those students for an entire day from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And she added a variety of those things that we train teachers to do. She added biofacts. She added trips to the zoo. Sometimes we have a chance to do behind the scenes activities with the keepers. And you also got to film that, I understand.
We were able to see the tigers eating knuckle bones,
Yes.
which is a special treat for everybody.
Yes, and for the tigers most of all, I
Yes,
think. But
yes.
it's always wonderful if we can take the children into the zoo and get some opportunity to talk with the zookeepers, because they know the animals best.
That's great. And how many classes did you say you're going to have this summer?
Well, this summer we'll have 11 weeks.
11 weeks.
One of those weeks will be strictly preschool, or we call it cubby camp, and that's for 4 and 5-year-olds. Those are half-day classes for 4 and 5-year-olds. The rest of the summer, the 10 weeks, will be classes for ages 5 through 18, and there's a whole variety of classes. We send that brochure out to anyone who calls in and requests it. We also send it out to all Zoo Society members and past camp families.
And would they call that same phone number?
Yes, that phone number again is 498-4861.
That's great. Well, thank you, Ann. This has been a real pleasure to have a chance to talk to you and look at all the neat things you've got out here on this table. Wow, looks like we've got an entire zoo laid out here.
These are just incredible. These are so valuable for us to teach with. And of course, the first thing a child asks us, well, did you kill the animal? Well, of course we didn't kill the animal. When the animal died because of age or illness, we have a biologist here who's totally incredible. Besides all the teaching she does a lot of the preparation of the biofacts, which you can imagine is a very extensive process. This happens to be a cat skull, and the reason I know that is because all cats have 3 teeth on the side. All cats, even your pet cats at home, have 3 teeth on the side. These are carnassial teeth. They're, if you know the word in Spanish for meat,
Carne.
carne, that's where this word comes from. That's carnassial, and they eat meat. So a carnivore eats meat, and that's where that word comes from.
Carne asada, my favorite.
There you go. There you go.
That's great. So even after the animal is gone, they can continue to teach us.
Absolutely. And sometimes the best, because the kids get to actually up close and personal.
Yeah, I can actually touch that.
That's
this
a
is a lion,
mane,
and you sure can't touch a lion if it's alive.
That's for sure. And this is the skin fur on their bodies. This is the male.
that feels so neat.
It's so soft. It
Wow.
really is nice. And of course, this is a tiger. We didn't kill any tigers or animals to get these. These are pieces that we've saved.
Well, that's really neat. Thank you, Ann.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to head back out to the zoo and see if we can find Lynn. We're at the Anteater exhibit. We should find Lynn in just a second. Hey, Lynn, how you doing?
Hey, Bruce, I've been waiting for you.
We just finished talking to Ann.
That's great. Did you have fun?
Oh, had a great time.
Great.
Learned a lot about camps that are coming up here in the summer.
Great. Sounds good.
Can I come down and see what's going on in your exhibit?
Only if you help.
I'd be glad to help.
A lot of cleaning to do.
Be glad to help.
Come on around.
Thanks. Wow, Lynn, these are really neat animals you've got in this exhibit. They're unusual looking.
They are. Just remember, Bruce, whenever you have an odd-looking animal, it's always form following function.
What do you mean by that?
There's a reason for the way that they look the way they do. They have different tools, different adaptations to make a living, basically.
You mean like that long nose?
Exactly. Out in the wild, their primary diet is insects, and they use that long nose with a 2-foot tongue inside of that mouth to reach inside of termite and ant mounds.
Really? So that the name anteater is really correct.
Correct, or termite eater.
Termite eater.
Absolutely. In fact, they've been seen one sitting, one day, eating over 35,000 termites.
35,000 at one time.
It's a lot.
I could use one at my house.
That's right. I think we all could.
Yeah, I think so. Now, how about their front feet? It looks like they're walking on their knuckles.
They are. They're walking on their knuckles. Take a good look at them. You'll notice that they're walking on their knuckles, and inside they've got their claws curved back, and that's so they always stay sharp. As they're breaking into those termite mounds and those ant mounds, they need sharp claws for that, and also for weapons for protection.
And they've got this tail that looks like a whisk broom.
It is. It's very straw-like. The hair is very coarse. And they use their tails for two purposes. One, when they're being defensive, they'll rear back on their tail, claws up front, using their tail as a tripod. And then also when they're sleeping, they take their tail, it's like a large fan, and they'll put it over their face to shade themselves and help to keep themselves warm.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, you say that they're using it as a shade, so they're out in the sun then.
Both. Anteaters are active depending upon their environment. They have found out in the wild that they tend to be nocturnal when they live in heavily human-populated areas, and they tend to be diurnal when there's not a lot of humans in their area.
So they're out at night so they can stay away from the humans?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Humans and anteaters, like most other animals, they come in conflict because people hunt anteaters. They hunt them for furs, curiosity's sake, sometimes meat.
That's too bad.
It is.
I'm glad we've got the anteaters here because they're nice and safe.
That's right. Out in the wild, they are now considered to be a threatened species. That's really important for the zoo to have anteaters. Because they are threatened, that means their populations are dropping out in the wild. So it's really, really important to have them, breed them, and get a gene pool in captivity.
Now, you were talking about their tongue. They stick their tongue out 2 feet
2 feet.
and suck up the ants with it.
They're not actually sucking. What they do is they have glands in their jaws that make their tongue very sticky. So when their tongue comes out, it actually, the insects are attaching themselves or getting attached to their tongue, and they pull them back in.
Oh, so like a straw with honey, and you
Exactly.
I see.
And when they bring them back in their mouth, the anteater is the only animal in that group, in that family group, that actually has no teeth.
No teeth?
They use their jaws, they grind them down, and they swallow.
That's really funny.
Absolutely.
I guess if you're eating something as small as an ant, you don't need to chomp on it too
Nope,
much.
not too much.
That's great. That's great. And you've got a pool. Do the anteaters like the water, or is that just
They
in here
do.
for decoration?
Well, out in the wild, they are found in a very warm and humid environment. So out in the wild, they use the pool for cooling down, their water for cooling down, as they do here in the summer. But anteaters also do a lot of traveling, looking for insects out in the wild. So many times they're found swing across waterways just to get from one place to another.
Now, I notice you've got a fence splitting the exhibit into 2 halves.
We do. We have a fence because we have 2 anteaters, and they can't always be together out in the wild. They're considered solitary, so they would come together for short times during breeding, and then they would break apart. And you now are standing on our female side.
Where is she?
She's not here.
Why not?
She's not here because, remember in the beginning I told you
Yeah.
we had a brand new addition?
Yeah.
She just recently had a baby.
Oh, really?
She had a really wonderful little baby, and because of that we moved her out of here and we moved her to the hospital. In fact, you guys want to go see her?
I'd love to.
Let's go see her.
Let's go.
She's eating it all. This is Dr. Lynch. She's our veterinarian here at Chaffee Zoo. She's done amazing work with our animals, including our anteater and her new baby. Dr. Lynch, we were just back at her exhibit, looking at the exhibit a little bit, and we were wondering, why did you decide to move her to the hospital? Why didn't she stay back?
Well, when she was pregnant, she got an intestinal infection and had really bad diarrhea and was pretty sick with that. We brought her over here and did workup on her and found out she was indeed pregnant, which we were hoping. She got better. We returned her to the exhibit and she had the baby, but we felt the baby was premature. It looked a lot young, less developed than the other babies we've had. And then she stopped eating and really wasn't making enough milk to feed the baby. The baby wasn't gaining any weight at all, so we got concerned enough that we brought her back over here.
Okay. Hospital's a little bit nicer than her exhibit. Her exhibit's pretty old. We also had insect problems and rodent problems there, so it was nice to bring her here.
Yeah, there were a lot of ants and mice coming into the night house, and we felt that the mice could have been transmitting some of the problems, the disease.
But the little one looks like she's doing well now. It is a girl, right?
No,
We've decided
it's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Anteaters are hard to tell, aren't they?
It's been a boy for a little while yet.
That's right. It's a boy, and he now weighs approximately
6.7 kilograms.
He's gained a lot.
Yeah.
When he first came in, he was about 2 pounds at birth, and then started dropping and gained a little bit and went back and forth. In fact, we have some tape that we're going to be showing you. He's in the hospital, and we did weights on him every day for a bit.
We pulled him off every day. If he wasn't gaining weight, we gave him a supplement feed of some milk several times a day.
The milk we were feeding him, how did you know what type of milk to feed?
Well, we called other zoos that have hand-raised these guys, and there are actually some analyses of anteater milk, and it's very similar to cat milk.
Great.
So we used a kitten milk replacer and added a little extra fat and protein.
That's right. He's gaining weight very fast. How much as an adult will he weigh?
They usually weigh about 45 kilos, about 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Yeah. A little less, a little more.
Great. And how long, he was born November 16th, I believe, and how long are anteaters expected to live in captivity?
I think the oldest reported one that I know of is 27 years.
And our adults are how old?
Angie is 18. I think the male's about that same age, so they're getting fairly old.
Okay. Now, as this anteater grows, will he stay here, or what do we do with anteaters?
Normally we wean them when they're close to a year old, and then actually he is a very, very important animal for the Anteater SSP program.
What is the SSP program?
The Species Survival Program. They're really short on males, so they're really excited that we have a male this time. So he will go to another institution that has a female that's genetically quite different, so that they can breed them and keep the population growing.
Great. That's wonderful. Well, we're going to let you go because we know you're busy. You have a lot of stuff to do today, a lot of animals coming in.
Clean up some
seeing
yogurt
you.
now.
She's got some yogurt to clean up, and thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Angie, come finish. She doesn't want to go in, it's cold. Come finish. Ooh, there you go. This is how we medicate them. We give them their medication and yogurt.
Bruce, now that we have a quiet moment, we have a Chaffee Zoo update.
Really? What's up?
Tusco finally made the big move. Remember last episode we were talking about how Tusco is getting ready to leave Chaffee Zoo?
Right.
He finally did it, and the good news is that it all went really smoothly.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, what happened?
Well, the main thing is that we started out early in the morning, and we carried on that morning like nothing was out of the ordinary. Tusco went into his crate like we showed everybody.
Yeah.
He ate his breakfast in his crate, and we basically closed the door as he was eating breakfast. He was calm through the whole thing. A massive crane came in, sat down, picked the crate up, and put it on a truck back, and away he went.
And where is he now?
He's with his owner down in Southern California, sunny Southern California, and we heard that he's very excited because when he got there, he got to go out into a large area with lots of females that were very happy to see him.
Well, that's great. And since we couldn't have any breeding success here, we wish Tusco the best down there.
I think he will do well.
That's good. Wow, Lynn, that new baby is really neat.
He's really, really great. Nice addition to our collection here at the zoo. We're lucky to have him.
That was really exciting to see.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope you all did.
I did. What do we have going on now?
Well, I wanted to come and talk back about, come back to the exhibit and talk a little bit about the exhibit. A lot of you come to the zoo and I'm sure see the anteaters here. primarily our biggest problem with Angie, and the reason we had to move her is because we had an insect and a rodent problem, and also we're just dealing with a 40-year-old exhibit here at the zoo. This design of this exhibit, looking down on the animal, is what's called a pit or a moated exhibit, where it used to be very popular to display animals this way, but as you can see, it's difficult to see them because you're always looking down at an odd angle, so you don't get the true perspective of the animal. It's also relatively small. There's not a lot of space, especially when we have to put the divider up within the exhibit. It cuts it in half.
So he's over on the other side right now, and
He's only got half.
he's only got half the exhibit.
He's only got half. Now that Angie's in the hospital, he can have the full thing, but when she's here, then we have to split it again. So it's actually a very small exhibit, but you know what? Even though it's an old exhibit, it's too small for them. We do the best that we can, and that's by giving the animals enrichment here at the zoo. When you come to the zoo, oftentimes the visitors will go to animal exhibits and they'll see all kinds of stuff that kind of doesn't belong there, or they think it doesn't belong there, and that's part of our enrichment. Thought we could talk a little bit about that today.
Okay.
First thing that we have that Hosenose likes a lot, and that is mealworms. Remember, again, he is an insectivore. He eats mealworms, or he would eat different types of insects out in the wild, and these are mealworms. Absolutely tasty. And what we do with these, we would take different types of containers. Today I have a container like this, and we're going to take some of these guys and we're going to throw them in here. And that way he can use his sense of smell to find them in there, and then he can use his claws to rip this apart. It's cardboard, so if he would ingest a little bit, which he doesn't, but if he would, it's not going to harm him. It's going to pass right through.
It'd be kind of like eating a little bit of wood while he was rooting around for termites.
Exactly, exactly. So we're going to throw that in. I'm sure he's going to enjoy that. All right, I'll take those.
Okay. And what about this? Looks like a bale of hay you got here.
Actually, it's alfalfa. It's nice green alfalfa, and you'll notice in his exhibit we have a lot of leaves. We leave that down because it's mulch, makes the soil softer for his feet since he's a knuckle walker, but also this has really good scents. Sense of smell is really important to the anteater. In fact, it's their best sense of all. So we throw this in there and he can dig this apart. Sometimes we'll stick mealworms in here and he can dig this apart. It's got great smell and he can find food in it too. You want to heave-ho?
You bet.
Great. Another thing that I brought that he really, really likes, and you saw that with Angie, she loves yogurt.
Yeah.
Hosenose does too. So we put yogurt inside of this box. We put a couple holes in so nice scent comes out, and again, he can tear, rip, and he gets a tasty treat once he gets inside of this box.
And he has something to do rather than just standing there waiting for you to hand him his dinner.
You know, Bruce, you've hit it on the head. Out in the wild, they spend 90% of their waking hours out in the wild searching for food. It's not handed to them. You know, they have to go and walk miles looking for insects. Some days are better than others. Some days you eat well and some days you don't. Nevertheless, they have to occupy their time. So by giving him different items to tear into, something different every day, it would be like out in the wild experiencing different smells, different sounds, different sights. We try to do the best that we can in captivity by reproducing that somehow.
Something for them, for the anteater to think about.
That's right. It's important.
Great.
Throw that in there.
Okay, what else you got?
Well, I think the favorite thing that we have most of all is crickets. Again, it's another insect. He absolutely loves them. These are fun though because they move around a lot.
The mealworms are just kind of lying there.
Mealworms kind of lay, they're an easy catch, but the crickets are not an easy catch. They are very active, they move around a lot, and they are also very, very tasty. In fact, I heard a lot of people
Very
in South
tasty?
America love to eat crickets.
Oh,
Want to give it
really?
a try?
Very tasty.
What do you think?
They're crunchy.
They're crunchy? Seconds?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
There's not much flavor to them.
Really?
Yeah, they're a little crunchy, and that's about it.
Well, I'm glad you have that experience and I don't have to have it. So we're going to throw some of those in for him, and I think that we should go let him out.
Okay.
And I'm sure he's going to love to come over and see all the great enrichment that we have for him.
All right.
Let's do it.
Lenny went right for the box with the yogurt in it.
He did?
Yeah.
That's his favorite. They love yogurt, all different flavors.
And none of this going for the little hole in the side. I'm just going to open it up and get everything out of the folded flaps in the top.
That's great.
Now these are special treats for them. What do they eat on a regular basis?
Well, again, out in the wild, their primary diet would be different types of insects,
Right.
and providing 35,000 or 30,000 insects a day would be just about impossible. So there's different formulations, much like the baby anteaters' milk. Zoos have come up with different formulations that give the anteater the nutrients that they need. So we have a protein slurpee or smoothie, you might say, that provides him with all the protein
Oh,
he
there he
needs.
goes. Into
And then we put
the worms.
Then we put different insects and crickets and stuff within that
I
sometimes.
see. So he's getting his protein smoothie, and then he gets these things thrown in for good measure.
Absolutely, just for something extra. He seems to like those.
He chowed down real quick on the bugs and those are the mealworms that were in there.
Good.
He got that open real quick there
Good.
too.
And other crickets that we threw in will kind of find little niches underneath the mulch, and that will help them. They'll be hiding for him tomorrow or the next day when he finds them.
So they're out there for a while now until he can come up with all of them.
That's right. It'll keep him busy.
Well, that's neat. Now, at one point, I saw a bowling ball in this exhibit.
That's right. A bowling ball is just another part of their enrichment. We use the finger holes to put different items inside, and he can roll the ball around and try to work those items out of the hole.
And he has to use his tongue.
He has to use his tongue.
Which is suited for going down in a finger hole.
Absolutely. It's hard I think that's one of the hardest jobs as the keepers, coming up with new ideas to keep our animals busy. It's
Thinking.
kind of enrichment for us too. We're always
Keeps
thinking.
keeps you thinking so that the animal can keep thinking.
That's right.
That's neat.
That's right. Did you have fun today?
I had a great time today.
Good. So did I.
It was a real interesting. Lots of good information about it. An animal that none of us really know very much about.
That's right. They've kind of been in zoos for a long time, but when you ask people, they're not quite sure what they're looking at. But it's
Yeah.
really nice to get a chance to see that baby. You don't
Yeah,
get an
there was.
opportunity like that too often.
Lynn, this has been a really great experience today. Really interesting, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good, I'm glad.
We'll be right back. What has 2 legs and 4 eyes? Me, Bruce Campbell, and I'm here to tell you how to win tickets to the zoo. Tune in every month to find new ways to enter our monthly drawing and become a winner. Winners will receive 4 tickets to the zoo and a personal guided tour of the zoo by me, Bruce Campbell. To enter this month's drawing, send in a postcard with your name, address, phone number to the address on your screen. It's been a great day, Lynn.
It has been.
We learned a lot, all of the programs that Ann has going on for kids during zoo camp.
Sounds like a lot of fun for the kids, huh?
I think it would be, and educational too.
That's great. That's great. How about the anteaters? You got enough of anteaters yet?
Anteaters are really something. They're an amazing animal.
They are. They're fun to see.
We learned a lot about them, about their diet,
Diet, adaptations, problems they're having out in the wild.
and what you keepers have to do in order to keep the anteaters happy.
That's right. It's our job. We're here for the animals, and we're really passionate about it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
That's great.
That's great. And it's really important for everybody to remember that this is your zoo, and we really want to see you out here. Very soon we're going to have the anteater and her baby out on display for you all to get a chance to see. If you have any questions, make sure to call the zoo. We're happy to answer your questions at any time. We've got a website. You can always check that. But the most important thing is to remember, we met the anteaters this month. You'll never know what you're going to meet next month. So make sure to check in next month with us for the next edition of Let's Do the Zoo here on Channel 14. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.